Hello Bulldogs, welcome to this week's news show. I'm Elvin Cesario.
And I'm Carson Kleinalter. This week we'll be covering the alternative for the events of homecoming,
A thorough explanation of what school does when a student contracts COVID,
and a new weights class made specifically for students in sports. North's annual homecoming hosts a trike race with multiple teams between the students and teachers. A gathering that would normally include the entire school, BNN reporter Joseph Oraye finds out the changes that will be made for the event this year.
BNN sat down with junior Evan Carr and senior Lauren Hartwell to talk about the alternative events for homecoming this year.
I'm Evan Carr, I'm a junior at Columbus North.
I'm Lauren Hartwell, I'm a senior at Columbus North.
So I think the trike races were going to be a difficult event to have this year with a lot of people in the stands at once and passing off the tricycles every time you switch out with your team. So we thought we could switch out for more fun activities that would be more involved this year. So this year we're bringing back Crush the Car. So we got a car from a local junkyard that we're going to be able to crush for like $1 per hit or something like that. And then Snowbiz is going to come sell snow cones during the lunch on Tuesday of that week. We're going to have dress-up days this year. We're going to have a school parade, and there's going to be a pie toss as well with some of the teachers.
So instead of the trike race, we're doing a parade. We're having a pie toss involving some of the teachers. We're doing Crush the Car, and we're also having Snowbiz come to pass out snow cones.
So we're going to do fundraising with voting for teachers for the pie toss. We've talked with Snowbiz about coming to sell during the lunch periods, and Crush the Car will probably be throughout the course of one day, and people could go down during a resource or during their lunch times.
So Snowbiz will just come during lunch, and so people can come and get them during their lunch. Crush the Car will just be throughout the day, so whenever someone has a chance to come, they'll be able to come. And the parade will be during second period on Friday.
Snowbiz, I think, will be selling snow cones just right out here, probably behind you guys. Crush the Car will probably be either in a parking lot or near the automotive area, so that would be easier to clean up afterwards. The parade will be just around the sidewalk that goes around the school. I think the parade is set for Friday, and we were going to build everything else around that. So I think right now we have Crush the Car on Wednesday, Snowbiz is on Tuesday, and the pie toss would be on Thursday so that we could do fundraising throughout the week leading up to that. Most of these activities are pretty easy to keep going safely with people with masks on, just like we've been doing in school. Snowbiz has always been open, so they're able to handle that. Crush the Car, no one will need to be too close, so I think a lot of these are going to go smoother than the trike race would have.
Well, each activity that we plan, there's a safe way to socially distance. So the parade will just have everyone spread out. Snowbiz, you can just go up on your own and get a snow cone, and then Crush the Car, that's also on your own.
I think this will be better participation this year because activities will be a little bit easier. You won't have to get 4 people together, and a lot of people would leave during the trike races instead of go to stand in the bleachers, and that wouldn't be safe this year either way. So I think people will be more excited for these new activities.
This is Joseph Oraye reporting for BNN.
the worry about spreading COVID is embedded in everyone's everyday life. BNN reporter Gabby Donica sat down with the school nurse to inform us what precautions the school takes in the event that someone tests positive for the virus.
BNN sat down with Columbus North school nurse to discuss new COVID procedures for this year.
The biggest fears that I have this year with COVID is probably just like everybody else's. It's not being able to see or spend, not necessarily see, but spend that quality time with other family that may not be in your household. Not being there for them if something was to happen. I mean, you've got several people, for instance, that have relatives that are in nursing homes and things like that, that the only way they can see them and stuff is through a glass. It's hard on people whenever you don't have that contact that you're used to as far as being with your family. The way that the staff and students are handling the epidemic here at school is very, very smooth, obviously different. It's not something that anybody anticipated on doing, but the way they're doing it, procedures are in play obviously to check everybody's temperature, whether or not they be checked temperature before they get on the bus. Obviously everybody's wearing the masks and stuff, and just making sure that everybody goes and attends their day-by-day schedule, so everybody's aware of what's going on and when things are going to happen and stuff, so it's going very, very well. Walking through the procedures of a suspected COVID case at school, obviously there's different scenarios that you could take. Whether or not a student is not feeling good here at school, they get a pass from their teacher and stuff, same as what they would before any of this. Come down, we do an assessment, check temperature, we determine, we have questions whether or not we weed out as far as allergies, have there's been exposure, all of that is okay and stuff. We go back through and we automatically, call mom and we talk to mom or parents and stuff about if there's any exposure on that end kind of thing and stuff, let them know what's going on so we can determine whether or not we believe it's COVID related or once again just allergies, cold, or things of that nature. Now, if somebody's at home over the weekend or whatever and they've attended an event and then a couple days later they get a phone call from a relative saying, okay, so-and-so is experiencing symptoms, that family and stuff, they could go ahead and take the quarantine time. They can go ahead and get tested. You can get tested and stuff even though you're not having symptoms. And then they just call the school, and if their school has, like you've got a sibling at another school, for instance, the nurses would contact that individual school and let them know what's going on, and they would determine whether or not that individual student needs to go home to where everybody quarantines together. As far as a positive case, it would be handled just the way as anything else would be. Individual would be brought down. We would go from there as far as checking. And then once those results came back, they'd be sent home to quarantine. Once those results came back and stuff, then we would go back through and start tracking, their classes and stuff, and then the 6 feet apart from everybody with individual teachers, and we'd start our tracking with those people and check those and have them be tested and things like that. There's 3 steps right now that you can go on the Indiana Gov website, CDC website. The number 3, the 3 that they're going to tell you and stuff is wear a mask, as you see not everybody is doing. But the biggest thing about wearing a mask and stuff is to make sure that you're wearing it properly. Over your mouth and your nose is the most effective way that you're going to have to wear it. Over just your mouth where your nose is exposed, that's not doing any good because you're still breathing in those particles and stuff that may be through the air. Washing your hands and keeping your safe distance from everybody else.
This is Gabby Donica reporting for BNN.
A new weight training class was introduced this year exclusively for students in sports. Reporter Darren Riley sat down with Coach Sharp to give us an insight on the benefits it brings to athletes.
BNN sat down with Coach Sharp to elaborate on the start of the new advanced weights class.
What is advanced weights? Advanced weights is a 2-block class, so we're training every day in there, but it's only a 1-credit class. So we've paired weight training with resource, so athletes are training for half the class period every day, and then half of it's a resource period every day. I do like how advanced weights is set up. Athletes are training hard for 30 to 35 minutes every day, so that allows us to keep them fresh every single day, so they're able to compete at their highest ability if they have a soccer game or a tennis match that night. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, the normal day is they're lifting, a split body routine. On Wednesday is a day totally dedicated to sport-specific movements. We call it SAQ day. So they're jumping, they're doing change of direction. In the class, they're doing some sort of acceleration sprint work. How has COVID and social distancing affected the class? Well, not just specific to advanced weights, all of my classes. We've assigned partners and we've tried to keep all work specifically isolated within their racks. So once me and my partner, let's say hypothetically, get into class, we stay in our rack, we do all of our work there, it's self-contained. If we need to go get pieces of equipment, we mask back up and we go grab the dumbbells or kettlebells that we need, bring it back to our rack, to our spot, and continue to work. We've tried to do a good job of keeping kids in contact with the same person or small group of people throughout the entire class. All of our water fountains have been completely shut off, so that now all we can do is fill water bottles out of them.
This is Darren Riley reporting for BNN.
That's it for today, Bulldogs. I'm Elvis Cesario.
And I'm Carson Clownter. Have a great weekend.